It's fine. It's fine. I'm sick. Give me a break.
Just keep rolling, do it. Just keep rolling. You're fine. Best opening ever, man. Best opening ever.
Rhodey, you look like you've fallen out of that game Control. Got the. Have you seen Control?
I've seen a bit of it, but I feel like I've fallen out of Murder by Numbers instead.
Oh,
because that's set in the 90s. You see.
Oh yeah, that shirt is very 90s.
Exactly.
90s.
Exactly.
I hope that has a comeback, kind of. I don't know. It's like fun and bright. I feel like so much clothing nowadays has gotten so like, drab. Bright colors don't seem to be in right now. So, right. Well, yes, Rhodey's joining me. And of course, everyone's favorite, the Radio Tom, joins us again.
Wow, it's official. We took a poll. I'm the favorite guest. The sample size was 1, my mom. But hey, we got this figured out. Coming to you live from Dewey's basement, this time without pants.
Oh, yeah.
Congrats. Stay tuned to see if I forget to not stand up in this podcast.
Well, I'm sick, so I'm just opting for like the softest sweatpants I can find. So, yeah, just gonna be here for comfort. Have my hot coffee. Maybe I'll like microwave up some more soup after this. But anyhow, that's not what you guys came here for. You didn't came to hear us talk about how tired we are, how sick we are, or any of that. We're here to talk about really good games. So, first of all, my question for my two co-hosts is, what have you been playing this past week? Yes, or a couple weeks for Tom.
Let Tom go first.
All right, Tom.
Oh God, yeah. There's been a menagerie of games this week, but it started with spoiler alert, a game that's gonna go on my 2020 favorites list. Even though it's still early access, not for broadcast.
Oh.
The FMV stress simulator. Like where you play as a gentleman running a broadcast booth of a news organization. Boy, did that game get weird. And the whole fact of, so it hit early access around February, March. And of course, with FMV, they were still planning on their next chapters and all that, but the global situation happened. But they were still able to put together content for this game and like had people filming like their actors filming at home and stuff, and still trying to make stuff work the best that they can. And the content they added was really good. There's a part 2 to what we played this week coming out in January that I'm super excited for, but I absolutely recommend not for broadcast wholeheartedly. Played the daylights out of it, love it to pieces. And I know stress simulators aren't everyone's cup of tea, but at least try to watch this, because the love and work and comedy they put into this thing, oh my god, I love that game. I really do.
Yeah, it's really taken off as well, hasn't it? This has picked up a lot of interest from people. I watched Tom play it like both times when you played the prologue and played this episode, and it's just so good. There are just so many funny parts in it, and they do mix up the gameplay as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's even though it feels overwhelming at first, they do the smart thing of adding layer on layer at a time, and they don't tend to throw more than 2 things at you at once. Like there was one time where you had to deal with kind of 3, like juggling 3 things, keeping the plate spinning at once. But it's been fair. And the only downside I have is me as the player was not paying attention to the story at all, because I'm sitting there like, I need to click this needs to go this needs to go this, where everyone's like, oh my god, this is good, they were talking about this is from them. Like, what?
By destroying the human race.
But they've got the archive, so you can go back and rewatch all the FMV stuff later on, in not the stressful situation, which got me caught up on the story.
So this kind of reminds. This is the sort of game. There's a really good YouTube channel actually called Girlfriend Reviews.
Yeah.
And I was thinking like this would be the type of game for them, considering it's such a fun game to watch. And that's kind of the feature, that she plays some of the games, but for the most part she's reviewing the games that she watches her boyfriend plays. And like this, I feel like is a type of game that they might really into. She's watching him freak out and panic while she gets to enjoy the story.
yeah, and I felt bad trying to stream it because like I couldn't talk while playing it. It was just like I was so silent. And it's like, all right, between stuff I'll pause and answer questions and talk to people, because like at the time I was so panic stressed.
But that's a good thing about it. You can pause it, so you know you can chat to people. So that's really good, because you know it's like it is one of those things where you are, as a viewer, you are also watching like the TV bits, and you've got to, you know, sort of like pay attention to what's going on. So it's just like it's pretty good.
It's very, very well done. The mechanics and everything feel really good, and the story's fun, and what they're trying to do with this whole global situation. Like good for them for everything that they've done. So I want to see that game do very well for them, because my God, they put the time and effort into it.
I really like the humor in it. Just from the screenshots, like tunnel through the earth, MOOBS moves, and I'm just like, my word, this thing is just so. It just looks like they've got so many of these like bizarre, like takes you back to the 1990s television. Yeah, and it's got that vibe. Even the broadcast booth itself feels like somewhere out of the 80s, 90s, even though they had some stuff that you wouldn't actually have in a broadcast booth. Like, oh, here's your viewership going up and down live, or here's this to let you know you're doing this wrong. But it still makes for good gameplay, and it gives people kind of the broadcast experience in a sense, because I mean that's what I went to college for and what I did professionally for a period of time. More on the radio side, but in college I had to do TV side, and it's not that far off. Like it's they make it easier in the game compared to real life, because in real life you don't see a waveform go by with a big red thing that you know that's what you need to censor. Like, no, that's not how that functions. But it's still like you watch broadcast feed, you watch a live feed, and everything else going on. Like, yeah, this is pretty close. So either they had a consultant or like someone on the dev team had some past experience with this.
Had to have. There's no way that they hadn't. And it's the weird thing is I never thought the game was gonna slip into horror whatsoever, but one of the missions had a horror vibe to it.
Amazing.
But it wasn't insane jump scare, like terrible, like a Five Nights at Freddy's sort of thing, which I was worried about when that mission first came around. Like, oh, this is not the game that I wanted for this. Like I wanted the fun story and everything going on, but like, oh, there's stuff in the broadcast room with you that you're gonna have to take care of. Like, oh no, time out. But it never got jump scare terrible.
It was a bit silly, but it was good. It was good silly.
Yeah, it really was, and I kind of regretted a few choices I made, because the choices you made depended on what exactly was in the room with you. So I was like, oh, cool. Yeah.
All right. Any other games?
We then played through and beat the old Slender the Arrival. Hadn't touched that in ages. We decided to go through that because people voted for me to play that one after the stress simulator that was not for broadcast, so we did that. Also did some Baba Is You, the good old word puzzle game that is a mental rigmarole, for lack of better terms. And then I had never played or watched anything of Pony Island.
Oh. And
we played it and completed it the other day on stream, and my goodness, did I have a blast with that. And not knowing anything about it going into it, I am so happy. Like one of the more recent ones that came out is There Is No Game. That very much in the same style of like, here's this cute little game, but there's something deep and dark going on underneath the surface, and you have to figure it out as you go. And I really enjoyed it, and the game did something like you would have saw like in Metal Gear. What was it? The Psycho Manus, the one where she could read like the memory card. and like tell you it's like, oh, I see you enjoy this game. Like, how does this know this? There was like at one point I was playing and I saw messages pop up from our friend Affinity Chris in the corner, and it's like, wait, he never messages on Steam, especially while I'm streaming. He must be messing with me somehow. And I was like, oh, this is the game messing with me. Holy, oh, this is good. So, and of course, a lot of people have known about Pony Island for years. I was very, very late to that party, but quite enjoyed it. And we did some Papers, Please. Because who needs more stress simulators in their life? This guy.
I'm hoping that you'll play the Hex as well now, since you've played Pony Island. It's by the same developer as Pony Island, and it's it is again one of those things that it's not quite as it seems. So yeah, I hope you give the Hex a go.
Yeah, I just threw it onto the wish list because I know you were talking about it while I was doing Pony Island, but I forgot to get it added. So I do. So thank you. I now have that added as well. It looks like they've got another one that's either out or coming out called Inscription.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely one of these like devs to keep an eye on, because they're always coming out with like interesting things.
Does someone have a smoke detector going off?
No, that's his phone. That's his phone.
Yeah, it does sound like a smoke alarm.
Yeah, I was just like, if someone needs to like evacuate, you may want to do so now.
Yeah.
But that's me for the week. I'm sorry, I ate a lot of time on that.
No
but
problem.
It's
was
been a
interesting.
busy week.
I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see that you've been doing a bunch of streaming. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Rhodey, what about you?
I didn't stream this week. I know. I kind of really wanted to, but I was so tired this week, and there's like a lot of things going on, so I wasn't able to get around to it. But I did play some Reventure. I unlocked 100 out of 101 of the achievements.
Oh wow.
So, and the last achievement is, oh my god, you have to put so much into it, so much into it, and you have to be a little bit dexterous at platforming. But because that you have to do this like over and over and over and over again, it's really helped with everything. So like playing the game. So I nearly got it, but I'm going to go in at some point this week and try and get that last achievement, because I've come so far. I just need one more thing I need to do on it. So yeah, it's but the ending. So you do get like a proper ending even if you didn't want to like get the last achievement, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, it was really good. It's quite satisfying. So I'm really, really happy with it. It's a good purchase for like full price is like $4.99 in the UK.
Oh wow, so, not bad at all.
Yeah, really good, very good.
Oh, that's awesome to hear, because I mean, when on first approach is like, oh, you don't really know what the potential of this game is, and that just to hear that it's just gives such a satisfying ending. That's awesome. Yeah,
the problem is that you do have to try and get as many achievements as you can, basically, though, because that's the point of you have, because each achievement is a different ending, so you have to try and get all those 100 endings, basically, to get like the full satisfying ending. So yeah, that's the only caveat I would say. This game, it's like if you wanted like the full proper ending, it's like, oh okay, yeah. But that's it. And that's all I've really been playing this week. Of then, I played Final Fantasy 11. But what about you, Jimmy? What have you been playing?
Me? Well, so I've been course, mentioned this at the top of the show. I've been sick, so not been up to much gaming, but I did a little bit. Notably, I finished Heaven's Word with my brother, and now we're into Storm's Blood. So, so yeah, which is of course not an indie game, but yeah, it's fantastic, and I'm always getting reminded because I've played it through before, but this is the first time playing through it with my brother. And so I was reminded, it's like, oh wow, this is all really, really good. I forgot how good this is. So,
but yeah, you still have to play through the new one, don't you? The last,
which is gonna be it's gonna be a few more months before, well, maybe a couple more months before we get there, because I just play with him on the weekend, so on his weekend, so Friday and Saturday, because he had to work on Sundays.
I gotcha.
Alrighty, so and besides that, I did play golf. Oh no!
With your friends, golf.
No, it wasn't golf with your friends.
Golf Story.
Yeah, it was some other game. Let me see. I gotta check. I'm forgetting it. I'm spacing.
Golf Revolution.
Golf.
It's the one we spoke about last week, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the one we talked about last week, and I'm just completely forgetting about it.
Golf Punk 2077.
Golf Around! Bingo! Golf Around. There it is.
That was close.
I was like, Golf Away? No, that's wrong. No, Golf Around. So I played through every course of this. Sorry. My final... there are certain things I like about it, but my final... even though it is somewhat higher definition and I guess somewhat prettier looking than Golf with Your Friends, I feel like the quality of the courses and what sort of tools the custom builds allow you to do, I think Golf with Your Friends is slightly better. But Golf Around is still very much worth it. I got it for $1. I bought it for $1, and I played it for 1.3 hours to play through all the levels. Now, granted, there's of course player custom made levels and such. Although Golf with Your Friends has a lot more people doing that. And of course, I didn't play it with any friends, which that's the point of Golf Around. But I just did it, because you can just use one hand and kind of sit there and like have a tissue in the other, like blowing your nose. So it was. It was good.
Phrasing of that alone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We'll just move on.
One hand and a tissue. Come on, buddy.
All right.
Come on.
Another small note I've got is that our friend Affinity Chris, she launched a game, and it is called Warhammer Daka Squadron.
Saga.
It is not on Steam yet because this is in fact a let me see, let me get it in the zoom out. There we go. I'm gonna get it in the window. All right, so this is in fact a mobile game, and it's a mobile dogfighting game, as you can see from their official website. It looks pretty fun. You get to play one of 5 different orc clans, and you get to just do dog fights. So yeah, pretty cool for a mobile game. It looks really sleek and pretty. And I look forward to this possibly coming to Steam. But for now, it's on mobile.
Yeah, it is coming to Steam. They do have a page up for it on Steam.
Okay.
But it'll still be a little bit for that to happen.
I will bring that up then. Daka Squad. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. I searched Warhammer, and of course, it's not going to come up. So there's too many Warhammer things.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But hopefully when it comes out, we'll get to talk about it a little bit more then. But it's our friend Affinity Chris, and the game released this week. So
yeah, he makes games.
I know, super happy for him.
Yep. I used to make games, but it was always on a contracting basis, so I could never talk about what games I worked on when I worked there. So just like such cool things I'm working on, but I'm subcontractor, so I can't say anything.
I see.
Oh well.
Ooh.
All right. With that, I think we're ready to move on to our catch-up. So we are going to be talking about the games that we missed during the hiatus in the spring. And today we're catching up for the days of May 7th through May 11th. Starting with Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl.
Play as Jay and Silent Bob in a retro 8-bit side-scrolling brawler solo or with a friend. Pummel enemies with hard-hitting combos, dash attacks, and elbow drops, as well as random assortment of weapons as you battle your way out of the mall and back to the quick stop.
Client, I hopped on the call to show you the game, dog. It's Jay Silent Bob.
I
The game is
like
Ball
Jay and
Brawl.
Silent Bob.
After being wrapped to the mall
like,
for a wall, now it's your call to go ball to the
film that
ball.
was
Stuck
cool,
in the mall with no time to shop. Dodge LaFours and his pesky.
I'm not a big fan of beat 'em ups, and I did
You could do a backflip.
back one like a couple of years ago to get gifts to my brother, and it only ended up being like 2 hours, and he was like really quite disappointed by it. So I'm wondering like how long this is.
Oh, let me see.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm seeing some people 3-4 hours.
Yeah, I'm seeing up to 6 hours, but yeah, this looks like it's probably another pretty short title. I'm seeing an average of 2.5 hours. So
That's a shame. It's a shame.
But yeah, it looks cute. It's got cute pixel art. It is $14.99 though. So
yeah, $11.39. That's the thing. It's like I know the people doing this might have had to buy, probably had to buy the rights to produce this and everything. So that's probably contributed to such a high price tag. But it's like the consumer, we're having to pay a lot for not much content, which is not what you really want. So
yeah. It is developed by Interrobang, which I love that word, Interrobang. It's when you have an exclamation mark and a question mark. Love that word. But they are a studio located in Berkeley, California, and they have 8 team members.
Ooh.
Wow.
Our next title is Wavey the Rocket.
Why is this taking so long? Play as Wavey the Rocket as he tries to stop the moon from being destroyed by an evil corporation that removes fizz from soda. My god. Precision side scroller like no other. It's handcrafted and set to some seriously funky hip hop.
Wow, I really like the mechanics of this. This is like really interesting.
Ooh.
If a bit, I could never do this.
Yeah. It looks a bit trippy having to control the waveform. I've seen a couple other games that have done this before. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It takes a bit getting used to. I've never been able to get very far in games that are like this. But yeah, for those looking for, I don't even know what to call this, waveform flyers? I don't know. I don't know what genre this would be.
A dexterity side scroller, like a precision platformer, funky rule.
It's hard to classify it. I don't think there is a technical term for this. But yeah, it looks smooth. They have a little bit too much glow. I'm gonna say that. But yeah, it looks like a fun game. It's made by Upper Room Games, based out of the UK, and it is $19.99.
And there are 80 plus levels across 10 themes, so that's good. And there's a main story as well, so that's quite
80
nice.
levels is pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain about that.
But what he will complain about it. Oh. I was waiting for the but. I'm sorry.
But it does look to be like maybe 10 hours long. But $19.99. I don't know how long it is because there's only a handful of reviews. But 80 levels is pretty good.
Yeah, and it's $14.99 in the UK.
$19.99 US. There is a soundtrack available for $12.99, but there is no Justin bundle.
Our next title is Spring of the North. Spirit of the North.
Yep, Spring of the North is a single-player third-person adventure game inspired by the breathtaking and mysterious landscapes of Iceland. Play as an ordinary red fox whose story becomes entwined with the guardian of the Northern Lights, a female spirit fox.
This is developed by a studio that's very far from Iceland. Infuse Studio is based out of North Carolina, and it's interesting. This studio normally makes asset packs and does contract work, but I guess this is their I believe their no, I don't know if it's their first game or not, because it takes them to their publisher page, merge games. But when I looked at their website, they mentioned a lot of contract work, and I think this is their maybe their first game. So, but yeah,
looks really interesting. I like the environments and everything. And the recent reviews are overwhelmingly positive. At 205 recent reviews at 95%, but overall very positive with 746 people.
They compare the game to Lost Ember, Rime, Journey, and The First Tree. I know what 3 of those are. I've never heard of The First Tree, though. But yeah, it looks very nice. These kind of big, for the most part, barren landscape with a little bit of forest. Yeah, this looks like it could be fun, meditative even. It does go for $20 though.
Yeah, it's $15.49. So yeah, I'm not sure how long it is. I'm seeing anything from like 4 hours to 12 hours. So
there's a review, even a review that's 28 hours.
Yeah,
folks like the music. Seen that a couple times. But yeah, Spirit of the North. Our next title is Infinite Beyond the Mind.
My internet is giving me a hard time right now.
Right.
There's infinite and minds and beyonds, and me just riffing until I can get the description, and there it is. The Mind is a slick 2D action platformer where you take on an evil queen, Evangeline Brahman, the ruler of Belgiantour Kingdom, as she works towards her dream of world domination.
I believe this is actually a solo dev project. At least that's all the information I'm able to find is on the one person, Emily Koyo. Yeah, I've not seen any other. Yeah, I've not seen any other information there. But yeah, so they've made this really neat, very. I like the pixel art. It's not my favorite style-wise.
Yeah, it's you don't see like chibi used too often, especially in something like this. But I kind of like the chibi. I wish the characters up in the corner for like the player portraits, I wish those were different in comparison, because I mean, especially when you see the thumbnail art for the game where they do actual drawings and all that, I wish that was more of the models for that.
Yeah.
And it's weird when there's a player select when they're using kind of the actual artwork and then you play a chibi character. There's a weird disconnect for me that I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, I think their character designs are fantastic, and I think it's a shame that the character designs don't really get shown off in the game as well. It's an interesting choice, especially considering the backgrounds. I mean, it's all pixel art still, but the backgrounds seem to be going for a more realistic look and less fanciful. And then you have the chibi characters. I don't know. Yeah, but the action looks very smooth. Sort of an action platformer game. the story sounds intriguing.
Yeah. I really like the backgrounds as well. The backgrounds have done really well, and then the characters aren't, I don't know, just not as satisfying or not as nice.
Yeah, at least they stand out.
Yeah, they do stand out.
That's the one thing I'll say, because there are some in this genre where they kind of blend into the background or stuff going on, and this you can clearly see a difference.
Yeah.
So I guess if they like the action and the gameplay is good, I can kind of let some character design go a little bit as long as it feels and plays well.
Yeah. I'm seeing a variety of times being played on this. Anything from like 2 to 8 hours. So I guess it varies.
Yeah, I have one review who it looks like they finished it are saying it should be about 6 to 7 hours.
Oh, that's not bad. It's $7.99 UK, so
$9.99 US. Yep. All right. Our next title is Picklock.
Join an exciting adventure of escaping from cops. Be tricky and use your skills to complete your missions in Greentown. If you're successful, you can enjoy a well-deserved vacation at the seaside.
So, this is developed by Decaf Studio, which is a studio based out of Russia. They have made a few other games in the past. Notably, they made Creepy Tales, Strike Force Kitty, the I Love Money Show, and Make War. So they've been releasing games. Yep. So just as they describe themselves, a few good guys have devoted themselves to games. Since 2011, we create Flash and PC games.
All right, you know what you're getting.
Hey, this is interesting use of voxel art. I'm curious to see how this play. This to be something I would probably enjoy watching on someone playing on a stream.
Yeah,
because it's a interesting like sort of heist kind of game, and that it says there are 13 missions as well. So, but I'm not, because there's a lot of stealth elements in this. It's not something I would want to pick up myself.
Yeah, this would definitely be more my wheelhouse. I like stealth, heisty, that sort of stuff. If any of the developers are watching this, you may want to throw in the rest of your about this game, because it looks like y'all got cut off. Because there's the picture examine robbery scene and then nothing below it. Like it feels like there's supposed to be more there.
Yeah, it does feel like there should be more.
And that sort of stuff happens. That's an easy fix. But I like how this looks. I need to go through the video because I've been mostly going through the screenshots to see everything around to try to get more of how the gameplay feels. Because even the video I'm watching, it's all cutscene and not actual gameplay. Well, there's one here.
If it looks like you're going to your neighbors and like you're sneaking around and picking up their valuables, and it gives you, when they're looking at things, it sort of like gives a sort of timer, not numeric, but on when they're going to move. So that's interesting.
Yeah, the top-down isometric, and the fact that you can actually rotate the camera is really nice in this too. Because I thought it was going to be a static. It looked like it was going to be a static cam. But yeah, no, this looks like a lot of fun.
On the theme of criminality, our next title is Tonight We Riot.
£5.79.
$7.99. Yep.
Sorry, I got hooked on that one.
Yep.
Tonight We Riot. Oh, there's a quick thing. Revolutionary crowd-based retro brawler.
Yep. Real short. They just went real direct for that, for the very specific. They wanted to be very specific. But yeah. So this is kind of like there was another game where you would play as a prophet like Aristotle, and you would guide the Grecian mobs to kill the gods. That's what this game is pretty much kind of, not, I wouldn't say a reskin. This game has different elements to it. but it's very similar mechanically. Let's see. I'm gonna have to look it up. Go ahead.
For me, it's 11:39. It's standing at very positive with 95% with 343 reviewers, and so it's couch co-op, 20 unlockable weapons, gear, and perks, a dog, whimsy, kaiju, a wood chipper, endless mode, horror synth, the unique catharsis that comes from throat punching a billionaire ghoul who would rather watch the world and everyone on it burn than lose a tax break. Please spend your money on our game tonight. We riot.
They ask very politely.
They do ask very politely. Yeah. The pixel art's fantastic. Yeah. It's sort of for those looking for the top-down kind of RTS, but it's 2.5D RTS. Yeah, this might be right up your alley. I cannot find that other game that it reminded me so much of, but I'm certain we talked about that game on the show. So yeah. Our next title and this one is $14.99. Our next title is Infinite Beyond.
No,
wait,
it's not.
I had this twice. Never mind. I am getting confused. Pardon, by Foggy Brain. Our next title is Bon Appetit.
Bon Appetit. When the king declares that all food is now his, what you gonna do? Ghostbusters. Raise a skeleton slave to steal it back for you, of course. I know it's who you want to call it, but still.
So it's a necromantic dog? Oh, no.
It's a skeleton.
Well, it could be a skeleton of a dog, but it's not.
I'm sorry, I don't know why. I don't know why I thought it would be a dog. When the king declares all food is now his, what you gonna do? Okay. All right. I don't know where I got that. Sorry. Brain fog. But this looks really cute. Very retro. I think this would be considered 8-bit rather than the 16-bit that a lot of people call 8-bit for some reason. But yeah, this looks really cute. They do have a good usage of color. Yeah, just very, very grim. Those skeletons are just so adorable.
They really are.
I find the whole thing quite adorable, really. It's really, I don't know, it's something very pleasing about it. I'm thinking it might be, it's on the shorter side. There are 6 boss enemies, and you can collect 21 different weapons, it says. I was seeing some people like 3-ish hours, some people with a lot longer, like 10 hours. But it goes for £5.79.
$7.99 US.
But it's 100% positive with 19 reviews.
All right.
Yeah, and the little guy, like, where did it? The skeleton smiles when he succeeds, when he finishes the level, and it's very
That's
cute.
awesome.
It's just overall adorable. Developed by Beat Bomb, on Twitter, and no, wait, not Beat Bomb, DXF Games. Beat Bomb's the next one, but yeah. So DXF Games made just a very cute game here. It's fantastic. And it's not their first game either. They also have other pixel art games like Just a Cleric and Weebish Minds. So, all right. Our next title is definitely not bot.
No, it's not bot.
Not bot. Yeah, that was the joke.
Oh, I get it now. I was just playing along with you. That's all I was doing.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was a yes. It was a yes and, but not but. From collecting buttons to solving tangled messes like this conversation became, automate Knotbot on a quest of handcrafted puzzles. Solve the problems your own way. It's simple to understand, but still deep and challenging.
So I did read, because it's standing at mixed. and I did like read through what the problems people had with, and the main problem is that it wasn't challenging enough. And I feel like what the dev should have put in the description, that it was maybe entry level kind of programming for people, because there's nothing wrong with putting that if it's like, because maybe for someone like me it would be like an interesting starting point to maybe try and get into sort of programming or like those kind of programming mechanics. I just think they should have been clearer on what it was.
Especially when they're putting deep and challenging later on. If people are finding it too easy, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot on your own description then.
But I think this is super cute. I really like the artwork and the character designs. I just find this so adorable, and it was just that deep and challenging. I think just completely ruined it for them, I think.
Especially with this being a very established genre on Steam, there's already a kind of a fan base for these types of games, and when you have a programming game that maybe a lot of the community has already like, okay, we're up to on average, the average programming game player is up to this certain level of skill. And you should probably emphasize. But yeah, it looks really cute, and if that's the main flaw with it, it's probably still worth picking up if you want to kind of dip your toes into the genre.
Yeah, there are apparently, according to this, 28 levels plus one extra level for something extra challenging, and it's people who do like it, they've really enjoyed it. But the problem I've seen a lot of people like 2 to 4 hours or just under 2 hours. Seen a lot of 1.7 hours on there. And it's £9.29, so that's also might be where they're cutting their fingers as well.
And $11.99 US. Yeah. If it's going to be that short, then maybe something like $6.
Yeah.
Oh right. Our next title is Atto, or Atto, which is very hard to search on Steam. So because there's so many words that start with ATO, so
no kidding.
Atto. There we go.
World of beauty and mystery, emotive animation, atmospheric environments, visually driven story, Metroidvania exploration. Just put those in your tags and give me a different description. Oh my goodness. And memorable sword duels. I never stop or say anything in the middle of me reading a description ever, but that's gonna annoy the daylights out of me.
Yeah, that's not a good description.
Because if this is like a story, I want to know what this story is about in the blurb, kind of thing. You know what I mean? There's like hack and slash your way through such and such because such and such. That's what I mean.
This is someone who is trying to pad an essay that had to be 4,000 words, is what this is. And even when I scroll down to the about this game, does the exact same thing of it's atmospheric Metroidvania sword dueling game, which is fair to have in the opening. You get that, and it gets a little bit better, but when you got this right under your thumbnail, it's like, no, those are tags. Come on.
The gameplay looks very fun, though.
Yeah, the gameplay looks fun. The artwork is a bit questionable in some places.
Yeah, there's not a form of pixel art I tend to really like where it's like textureless, where it's very solid. There's not really dividing lines, so there's not really line art. That's all very solids. Yeah, I'm not a super fan of that. I prefer more texture and shading going on.
Because it's weird, because there are some places where they do add the texture and there's a depth of field, whereas the rest of it isn't. So it's like, as I said, it's very, very patchy, the artwork. But it looks very different from a lot of the games that we
yeah review. This would be one that I would happily give a shot, and I'm super happy they've got a demo for it.
Yep.
Just so you can give it a shot yourself, because it's $14.99 currently as is. It is available with a couple of bundles, so you might be able to save a little bit more if you get a few other games with it. But at least you can try it first.
Yeah, I've seen like 5 to 9 hours, maybe.
Not bad.
But yeah, it's £11.39. So yeah, and it stands out very positive at 96% positive. That and 53 people have reviewed it. So yeah.
Yep. Following Atto, our next title is Circle of Sumo.
Is it the online Rumble one or the other?
Just the standard one, but I think they both launched at the same time.
Oh, okay. Use your belly to your advantage. I'll try. Challenge your friends in this fun party game on Sumo. Fight into the arena, charge, hit, dodge, and defeat the opponents. Have some good old fun.
Very charming. I like the different courses you're fighting on. Very imaginative. You're just like pushing other people into traffic, or
almost a Frogger. It's got kind of some Frogger vibes at times of like, here's the logs, here's the traffic.
It's shared split screen PvP, so I guess it's not online. Maybe
you have to have friends in person. Oh, there is. Okay.
Yeah, there is remote play. But yeah, so I'm surprised this hasn't been picked up much at all, because it looks pretty good. It's there's so many interesting sort of like battlefields, as you said.
So online Rumble is free to play, and came out on October 17th. So this one is a bit more recent. And yeah, so I guess that one has like hundreds of reviews. So and that one does have online PvP.
Right. Oh, okay.
All right.
So yeah. Unfortunately, there's only a few reviews, but there's also mini games as well. So that's a nice thing, and I think it says up to 4 players.
Yeah, because at least the online one that came out, because it looks exactly the same, except for probably one free to play and then online capabilities, and that's got 650 reviews on very positive, 94%. So it's popular. It just it looks like they may have rechanged their mind about a few things, was able to get an online going and put it out for free.
Yeah. Quite possibly, yeah, because this is £5.19. But yeah, do not check this one out. Check the other one out.
Yep, and it's developed by Yonder, which is a small studio of 4 devs located in Rome, Italy. They've also made Circle of Football, Red Rope, Don't Fall Behind, and and they've got some of their games coming to consoles. Notably in this year, Red Rope, which they released on Steam in 2016, is now coming to consoles in 2020. Alrighty. Our next title is Jumping Joe Friends Edition.
Aw, so it's our edition. We're friends. Jump right into the action in this jolly pick-and-play platformer, an indie action game perfect for intense playtimes with your friends and family. Help Joe and his fellas on their upward journey. Be quick as a flash and dodge roaring cannonballs, vicious bats, and other traps.
Yep, this is developed by a small Polish studio located in Gdansk, and they were founded in 2016.
I like the artwork. It's super cute.
Yeah.
Like the concept of it as well. Like, you have to be very quick, and it looks like there's nice, interesting, challenging sort of fields
Only local
challenges.
PvP though.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shame.
It's at the same time looking at like a game that's got like this kind of pace where it looks like you have to be really quick. I don't think online would serve it too well because of delay and issues. And I'm typically one who will jump down the throat of local couch games. This one I might actually give a break just because of the speed it looks like required.
And someday maybe people will start to want to like come to sit in couches after all the lockdowns are over. They're like, oh, I'd love to sit on your couch.
One day. It's 10 user reviews, starting at 100% positive, and it's £2.89.
Yep.
$3.99 US.
And Vixa Games, they also made the Crack Pet Show and Dino Galaxy Tennis.
Oh.
So. Our final catch-up game is Fury Unleashed.
Wow, that was a drastic change in artwork. From what we've seen over to this, but Fury Unleashed is a combo-driven roguelite action platformer. Each kill you score increases your combo. Hit certain threshold and your damage, resistance, and healing powers will kick in. It's a game you can even beat in one ultimate combo. Are you up for the task?
And if you hit certain thresholds, your damage resistance and healing powers
yeah, it's sitting at very positive with over 558 reviews, and it is created by Awesome Game Studio, which is a studio in Krakow, Poland, that was founded in 2009 and currently has 5 developers.
It's filled with strange portals.
It looks great. This looks great. I really like the backgrounds,
pieces of armor, special powers,
everything.
More to improve your
it's really cohesive.
Customize your playstyle.
Yeah, you can definitely tell they were fans of Contra and Metroid.
A powerful shotgun.
Because it definitely has like the vibes and levels of both, like especially like Contra 3 and then Super Metroid.
Each combination.
Yeah, it definitely reminds me of Contra.
Several NPCs inhabiting the pages you explore.
Yeah, there's also the fact that you can customize your character's look. That's really cool. There's the armor does actually affect what your character looks like. Armor and weapons.
And how much you collect impacts on how.
And yeah, with it being combo based, it's kind of fun. You gotta try to see how fast you can get through a level. If you can get through a whole level with just one combo.
To upgrade our hero, the titular Fury.
There's 40 bosses. 40.
40.
Yes.
Holy.
Wow.
So this is quite a substantial game. Seen like 20 hours or over 20 hours of gameplay.
Chapters.
And
hazards appearing in each. And
it's $17.99. So you are,
if you manage to defeat,
you are
easy task.
Hopefully getting enough for your money. And it also comes with, you can also get a bundle
filled with Aztec.
So with all their other games as well.
Underground Nazi base.
So it's so this game is actually set inside a comic book where the author John Kowalski is having a creativity crisis and doesn't know what to do next, and so that's the premise of the game, which I think is really cute.
Good. Yeah, I like that. $19.99 US, by the way.
Yep. Still only local co-op, but this seems like it would be pretty substantial enough for single player as well. So
yeah, and they do have a thing of online cooperation mode being added in the future.
Okay, that's good. I know it. Having worked with some online stuff, I know that takes time. It's just always a shame when a co-op game doesn't have it. It's really worth the extra development time.
Yeah.
All right, we are now up to our hidden gems, and we have quite a few to talk about today. We are going to be starting, of course, with Monday, December 7th, with the delightfully titled Elephantasy.
After falling from the sky into a miniature world, a tiny elephant has a big adventure in store for them. Climb, dash, lift, and swim while exploring colorful pixel art environments in this cute 2D puzzle platformer. And you collect all the gems, reach the tower in the clouds, and return home.
That is delightfully wholesome.
It really is, and it tells you everything you need to know. Take notes, other devs. That's good. That's perfect.
And
I just wish the like thumbnail picture was better.
The thumbnail's not good. But the little elephant is super cute in the game. Oh my word.
That character is like, oh my god, so cute. So unbelievably cute.
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of gives you that joy. It's really old school art. This is made by a single developer, Benjamin Maksym, and it's just so adorable. Really creative.
Yeah.
And
so yeah, there's 4 boss encounters, 3 of which are optional, multiple endings, 36 gems to collect, vast assortment of NPCs to meet and talk with, 6+ distinct areas to explore, 350+ unique rooms to discover. So yeah, that's quite a lot, and it's only $3.99.
Yep.
Yeah, $4.99 US. Not bad at all.
Not bad. Yeah, it's pretty big. As you were mentioning, they've got quite a lot of features. So apparently 3 of the bosses are optional.
Yeah,
there's 4 bosses. Interesting.
Yeah, and I'm so with Rhodey. If I just saw the thumbnail of this game with nothing else, I would have gone right past it.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the thing. It's like certain things on Steam, like, are either gonna make or break you. Like the name, your thumbnail, the trailer, and the blurb that you've written. That's like, those things are going to sort of like catch people's eye and like really help you out. And if you don't get those right, you can be completely overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Our next title is GoldFish Brain.
Hey, what did you call me? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Nice
What's going on again?
Yeah. I get it. GoldFish, yeah.
There. Hey, it's a 2D scrolling platform action game, and it adopts Metroidvania-like design. You need to explore maps and find various ability items to strengthen yourself and break through more challenges.
So I guess you're a scientist with your head is a fishbowl with a goldfish inside it, from what I can tell. Huh.
It's weird. It reminds me of that cartoon where the guy gets blown to pieces and then his brain is put onto a bear's head, and his stomach is inserted into the bear.
Oh yeah, I was thinking American Dad or even Umbrella Academy, where they've got the one guy who's a fish in a bowl on like a robot body. Sorry.
Yep. And this is WEI's first game. It's nice. I like the look of it. It's got the kind of dark broody. I don't know how long it is though. They don't seem to specify.
I've only seen like one review in English, and it's just under 5 hours. And it said there's it does have a few problems with inconsistent difficulty, and the translations are a little rough, but overall it's definitely worth playing, they said.
Yeah. And it's $4.99 US, so if it's about 5 hours, that's pretty good.
Yeah, $3.99.
GoldFish Brain. Following that, we have a very long title, Guildmaster, Gratuitous Subtitle.
Guildmaster Gratuitous Subtitle command an ever-changing party of 4 heroes into turn-based tactical combat in this challenging and irreverent fantasy adventure.
To take turns in combat.
This reminds me a lot of some of the better Flash game RPGs.
From an arsenal of hundreds of weapons.
And I would not be surprised at all if that's what this developer is known for. The developer is Jim Makes Games, so there is another developer, James Makes Games, who is pretty well known. I looked up his website and was like, oh, okay, I know some of these games. But unfortunately, this guy's Jim Makes Games, and I could not find. Every time I was looking up information on them, I'd get James Makes Games. So it's clearly not the same person. So like, ooh, you have the wrong name, buddy.
sorry. I'm probably like being putting like a sourpuss like face, and I'm just looking at him like, oh, I don't like the look of it.
Yeah,
that's all. I'm sorry.
It definitely has a crunchy aesthetic. To me, it kind of speaks to that old Flash game RPGs. I'm like, this might be really good.
And uncover the
if I was sitting in a college class, like web browser, playing something on Newgrounds, like back in the day, this would be something I would play. It's not the most polished thing in the world, but it looks like it still's kind of good.
Master.
Yeah, it definitely does not win in the aesthetics department, but mechanically, I'm very interested in what this game is like. So
I wish it did come with they have a demo first. I wish they did have that, because it is $10.99.
Ooh, $10.99. Yeah.
$13.99 US.
A demo would be very appreciated.
Yeah.
So, with that,
unfortunately, we don't have enough user reviews to really get a good grasp on.
Yep.
The times.
Our next title is Nomads of Driftland.
Not everyone on the planet Driftland is happy with the new order brought by the mage rulers. Is this nothing more than an attempt to restore the apparent balance that has almost destroyed the entire planet once? Join the brave nomads and fight for freedom on your own terms.
I'm not a fan of when they have questions in summaries.
But why aren't you? I asked a question.
So this is actually it's basically a different game mode that they're selling for free, and then this one has some paid DLC you can get. But there's another game, which is Driftland Magic Revival, which is a game similar to this one, but is mechanically different. And so they decided to release this as a free game, which I thought was kind of cool. A different game mode.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's a single player RTS, whereas Driftland is a city builder. So.
Right. Oh, okay. Interesting. It's interesting how they've managed to get like two different games from like the assets that they've built and everything like that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, interesting. That's very, very economical of them.
Yeah, very economical. That's a good way to put it. So yeah, it has 88% positive. Folks in the reviews are talking about, it's just an enjoyable RTS. So.
Yeah, if there's like no like in-game like money that you have to put in, it's free, then fantastic. And it's and hopefully if you do decide to get the DLC, which is £3.59, you do get a good bulk of gameplay as well.
Yeah, it looks like let me see the whole thing. You get. Okay, yeah, you get 10 new scenarios. So basically, just new missions to play when you buy the DLC. That's cool. That is cool. So basically, the base game is essentially a demo for them to sell you the DLC. Yeah, that's a business model I'm perfectly fine with.
Yeah.
All right. Our next title. And of course, this is developed by Star Drifters, which is another very small studio. Our next title is Ignis Universia.
I mean, that's not the full name, but okay.
Eternal Sister Saga DX.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna make fun of the Guildmaster one for being long, you gotta say something about this, because my goodness. Ignis Universia, Eternal Sister Saga DX, a short game with a long name. I like them already. Mashes up JRPG battles with visual novel storytelling. Not entirely serious. I couldn't tell.
The pixel art is very much it's very cute. I like their environments and the character designs. They're clearly going for a very classic look.
So I like the artwork isn't quite consistent.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah.
parts where they do the visual novel, I really like. And the parts where they're doing more of the action is just really crunchy. I feel. Because even like the environments or the monster designs aren't that great. Whereas if you look at, there's a scene where they're in the bar, it's all very nicely and detailed and but distinct. Everything is like just very nicely done. Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious because this is like when I watched the trailer, it was like this game isn't one of those games that it's not a game that you think it is kind of thing.
Yeah. It is free. And then they have an overpriced DLC.
She's just pictures, I think.
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just fine.
It's pixel artwork, yeah.
So yeah, it's not. It's standing at 92% positive with 28 reviews. So, I don't know. I'm curious. I am curious about this. I'm curious about what the story of this is. I know they've tried not to spoil it in the description, so that's quite nice.
The mature content is described as strong language, fantasy violence, alcohol, and minor innuendo. So it's not that type of game, if you're wondering.
Yeah.
I was worried when I first saw it.
Yeah. That was the first thing I went when I was first looking. It was like, okay, what's in the mature? Oh, okay. This isn't something sketchy. A little bit of fan servicey, but not sketchy.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is developed by Random Potion Oi. They also made Dark Eye Book of Heroes, which got mostly negative reviews. So it's neat to see them come back and get a mostly positive review on their new title. Which is free, so I mean that helps. It's a lot easier to give a game a positive review when it's free.
Sure.
All right. Our next title and last game for Monday, December 7th, is Headbangers in Holiday Hell.
Christmas never changes. Soon those overzealous little freaks will swarm the city city led by that bearded maniac. But this time we fight back. Inspired by Zombies Ain't My Neighbors and Beavis and Butthead's heavy metal comedy, this is twin stick mayhem like you've never experienced before.
So you're going to war with Santa and his elves.
I love the daylights out of this already.
That's a great premise.
Yeah, I had to have this on the list because it was just like perfect, absolutely perfect. Great time to release this, and it just looks insane.
There's a deer that breathes like green acid. That's pretty funny. Yeah, so this is developed by Vikerlane. Vikerlane is based out of Cheltenham, UK, but the studio was founded by an ex-rock musician from Estonia. And he's like the hair rock musician, and he still very much has it with like long blonde locks and like long beard. I was like, oh, he looks like biker gangs from my hometown. Like, my word.
Yeah. Because I mean, like the main character in this reminds me a lot of Lemmy.
Yeah.
Very much Lenny, and even listening to the music, I was like, hey, you get a little bit of Motorhead in there, a little bit of Judas Priest. Like, all right, I kind of like where this game's at, especially music wise, and I don't know, this game has sold me pretty hard already. But when I was a kid, I loved Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Was never a big Beavis and Butthead guy, but I don't know. Something about this. How long is this game? Seeing anywhere 2 to 5 hours. What? Someone has 23 hours in. Oh.
Maybe they're achievement hunting, but it's a 489, so length isn't that too big of a deal.
No. Yeah, this is going on my wish list.
Now to Tuesday, December 8th.
Sorry, it's £3.63.
Yep. Starting on Tuesday, our next title is Skycadia.
Collect bounties on sky pirates in this chill pastel dogfight sim.
This is beautiful. It's kind of going for that low res, like Game Boy Advance, I suppose.
No, DS.
Yeah. It looks just fantastic. I love the color work on this. And it's just your dog fighting and around like this small globe.
It's cute. Yep. I'm wondering how much like gameplay you can get from it though. I'm just wondering because it says compete with your friends for the highest bounty, explore the colourful world of Skycadia, fill up your bounty book. So I suppose you're giving like bounty. You're giving bounties to hunts.
And it's a single player game, so it must be a leaderboard.
Yeah, it's leaderboard based.
So yeah, I'm seeing like the only review I can see is like 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
and you basically kill giant bugs.
Yeah.
And yeah, $9.99 US. Yep. Quite nice. By Studio Nisse LLC. Next up, from the sky to the sea, we have Call of the Sea.
Is an otherworldly tale of mystery and love set in the 1930s South Pacific. Explore a lush island paradise, solve puzzles, and unlock secrets in the hunt for your husband's missing expedition.
But here, I only found more puzzling.
Raw Fury is the publisher, so that's
even so.
They do a lot of kind of like adventure games. So like publish a lot of adventure games. So I'm quite. I mean, that I've liked, that I've enjoyed in the past. Although this is a different developer. It's interesting to me. Like I'm always liking a good mystery.
Yeah.
What did you find?
But I am not a fan of like first person perspective though, because sometimes I can get a little bit disorientated. I get like a bit lost. So but yeah, I'm very curious about this.
Yeah, this looks good. I'm very much with you in like the adventure sense.
To begin with,
the puzzle adventures are a little rough in first person, but
I swear
I don't know. I like the artwork. The mystery seems fun. The $20 entry fee for it, depending on how long it is. I mean, for everything I'm seeing, it feels like a fair price unless it's only about a half-hour game.
Yeah. I'm seeing anything from like 4 hours to about just over 10 hours or something.
Okay, so I definitely a little bit more fair.
Yeah, it's it's £50.49. I don't know, because I play a lot of adventure and point and click games. I tend to not want to pay round about that cost because they don't have sort of like replay value.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm happy paying something like £10, round about the £10 mark. That this is a little bit more on the pricier side.
This is probably a wait for a sale kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's also like I've said about a lot of point and click and some adventure games. It's like they're not always like a satisfactory ending, and I don't even mean like it's got to have a happy ending or anything like that. No, not at all.
Just got to resolve the plot lines.
Exactly, and sometimes like a lot of these studios run out of money towards the end, and so it's like the ending always seems sometimes a bit rushed. So that's always an issue. Sometimes a problem. It's at 90% positive with 120 reviews though, so that's good. Yeah,
that's pretty good confidence that this is a decent game. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's even tempting me, and this is not my type of game normally, but I'm definitely tempted to check this one out.
Wow. warm Dewey's heart.
Next is a highly anticipated title, Monster Sanctuary.
Monster taming meets Metroidvania. Collect, train, and battle monsters in a lovely side-view pixel world.
So pretty. So pretty. So
very pretty.
I like this.
This has been in early access for quite a long time by Wavey Studios, which is a small studio based in Germany. But yeah, you can evolve your little critters that you catch, and there's multiple pathways for each of them to evolve on. So there's a lot of customization, and they got 101 monsters apparently. So that's what they list there. But it's been getting patches up until its full release, and hopefully it's going to continue to get new launch. They had new launch content, of course, but I wonder if they're going to continue to update it.
I wonder, yeah.
Yeah, it's recent reviews, because we've said sometimes after it's been in early access, sometimes the reviews go down a bit.
Oh, yeah.
But this is even more positive. This is standing at overwhelmingly positive, 95% with 153 users, but overall nearly 2,000 users were very positive, 94%. So it's fantastic.
And this has been on my wish list for a while, so I've been looking forward to it, and it just seems really cool. I really want to check this out now, seeing that it's been received so well after coming out early access. The idea that it's Metroidvania, so to some degree, the Pokemon games always had a degree of Metroidvania, where you had to get the right Pokemon, the right TM in order to get past this next barrier kind of thing. And it's a marriage that is so obvious to make, but just hasn't been made before. And yeah, it's like, oh well, that's such an obvious thing to do. It's fantastic. It's great.
I normally don't go in for Metroidvanias, but because this is like a monster collecting game, I'm like, I might pick it up, maybe.
I have a real difficulty with completing Metroidvanias. That's a major issue I have. Is I'll play it to a certain point and then lose motivation to actually finish it. There's only some that have been really particularly into. So there's only been some like what's that one? Tales. I finished Tales. That was fantastic. Elysian Tale. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Elysian Tale. Yeah. I finished that one, that Metroidvania. Not the Tales games. I haven't played those. Tales of Berseria, etc. But yeah, Elysian Tale I did finish, and that was a fantastic Metroidvania. I think what made the difference is that the story continued to flow forward at an even pace, and there's never this sort of like, you gotta get this, so go all the way back, and then there's this big time gap of you just trying to figure out how to get to the next barrier, where this one, it always felt like there was constantly stuff to do, and so you could kind of just flow through the whole story. And there was never a worry about it. So, yeah.
It's at 10% off right now, and it's at $14.39.
$14.39. You know what? I think that's a fair price considering its reception.
Yeah, $17.99 for us US folk who don't deal with that funny money over there.
All right. Our next title is the Hayseed Knight.
A ragtag band of misfits tell the unlikely tale of a one-eyed farm boy's accidental rise to fame in this fully voice-acted animated visual novel.
Yep. This is developed by a solo dev, Maksym, known as Sandra MJ Dev on Twitter. So yeah, it's a solo dev project funded via Patreon.
Oh wow, awesome!
I think I had seen this before, because I can't remember if someone like showed this to me or something. But yeah, I think I did check out their Patreon, but I love like choose your own adventure games, and that mixed with visual novels is quite nice. I'm curious about this one. It is £9.69 right now. It's 15% off. I'm not sure. It seems like it's not too wordy, if you know what I mean. It's not like you're not bombarded with a ton of text.
Well, it is also fully voice acted, so
that really helps as well. That really helps. So I'm seeing anything from over 11 hours to like
many things
2 hours. So yeah, there's varying degrees of time on here.
Yep, and it looks like they've got another chapter and an epilogue left to be added into the game as a free update.
I think if I did get this, I would wait till the whole thing was out, because you lose track about what's going on. Yeah.
In another alley.
Yep. And that is $12.74 US.
Couple people like that,
He told me quite a bit about you, his beloved boss.
Our next title is Vessels, which unfortunately, good, there's not too many games named Vessels. All right, so yes, Vessels.
I am myself.
Oh yeah, the S at the end, because I was like, without the S, it was kind of a long list, but with the S, hey, a little easier. But enough about me. On to Vessels. Quarantined inside an airlock. No memories. No way out. So 2020 the game. The remaining crew thinks there's something wrong with you. 2020. Okay. But the voice says it'll help you escape. Navigate volatile conversations and unravel mysteries in this narrative adventure about trust, self-destruction, and shifting identities. 2020 the game.
Yep. I feel like these games involved with quarantine, like, I know that most of them that we've talked about, they just happened, it just happened to work out that they were working on the game, and then like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah, this really hit home. Real hard with everything reading. Like, yeah. That's 2020. Yeah.
Yep.
It does say how long this is. It's like a 2 to 3 hour adventure where no one is who they initially seem, and your choices lead to different endings. So and there's death loops, repeat lives until you say exactly what you want to say or learn what you need to learn. So it's a bit like Sexy Brutal. It's a bit like that. Become the other crew members of the Kairos So 3 to explore the ship, learn about the crew, and use what you know to free yourself. An authored story about a crew finding themselves amid self-destruction and sacrifice.
I do like the fact that they gave us, like, just straight up, it's 2 to 3 hours long. That's fantastic. Yeah. It's $5.99, so that's not too much of a deviation. Go ahead.
Yeah, £4.79. So yeah, this is I feel it's a fair price for, considering I do like the style of the character designs and everything. That's quite nice. It's had a bit of work put into it. So I'm curious. I could definitely watch someone play this on Steam. On stream, definitely.
Yeah, the character designs are sort of very low. Not low poly, but there's another term for that I'm trying to think of, but I'll just use low poly for now. But what's nice is that it's so clearly each of them have these additional features like that change their profile or just how their body shape. Each of them looks different. Like clearly, even if you just saw a shadow, each of them look different. That's kind of a key of good character design, is that no one casts a similar looking shadow. It's just nicely designed. It's well done. Because a lot of these lower poly or lower detail 3D games, the characters can all look like it's the same body but with a different hairstyle or that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
And they did not do that. They put a lot of detail in each of the characters, and appreciate that. All right. Our next title is Ultimate Zombie Defense by Terror Dog Studio.
Team up or face it alone in this top-down zombie-slaying defense adventure featuring up to 4-player online co-op. Cleanse the infected wave by wave and upgrade your base with traps and defenses to build the ultimate zombie defense. Can you stop them?
Oh. So like sort of an isometric Left 4 Dead. Although it looks like the zombies are a bit slower unless there's like special zombies.
Yeah, I was thinking almost more tower defense-y, but yeah, the more I'm watching with the location change, not so much.
I didn't add this to the list because it seemed like, there's quite a few people that obviously have enjoyed this game. There's 180 user reviews right now, and it's standing at 94% positive. So yeah, it's it's obviously not like my kind of game. They did say there's unique boss fights challenge even the most seasoned zombie slayers. Unique epic slow-mo that will trigger during the most impressive moments. And apocalypse-proof weapon selection from the classic pump shotgun to the flamethrower, grenade launcher, minigun, and many, many more.
Yeah, seeing more of the seeing more of the encounters, I'm like, yeah, this is an isometric Left 4 Dead. So, I'd figure there would be a demand for that. So Terror Dog Studio may have like found a niche that they can exploit. So, yeah.
Yeah. And it's only $3.99. So
yep, and $4.99 US.
Itch you want to scratch, this game might be for you.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and they've got 12 unique monster types, so that's good. Because I was just for the first part of the preview of the trailer, it's just like all the same slow zombies, but apparently they've got quite a variety. So. Our next title is the annoyingly named Space Raiders in Space.
I'm sorry. Could you say that again? I missed the name of it.
You know what I said.
Wow. Space Raiders in Space is a wave defense roguelike mixing squad management and tower defense mechanics. Command your almost competent crew to loot weapons and supplies, build defenses, and fight their way through the bug apocalypse in space.
I like the comic book aesthetic. That's quite nice. I always think it's become a bit of a trend, but you know what? It's a trend I hope continues.
It does. I thought this kind of looks a bit like Void Bastards.
Yeah. The UI is a bit of a mess, though. Like they're going for the comic theme, but the UI is just a little too much. It covers too much, I think.
I mean, when the devs are called Two Stupid Devs, what do you expect?
I do like that. It's a very appropriate studio name. And yeah, it is two devs, in fact.
I think I need a drink, bro.
Yeah, it's just two fellas working together, and that's really cool. Two stupid devs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go right ahead.
It's 100% positive with 11 reviews. For in the UK, it's 10% off at £6.47. But go ahead. What were you going to say, Tom?
Oh, all I was gonna say was I do like the look and feel. The UI I know is a little rough, but I've played games that have used like the comic book inside the UI before, and in actual gameplay it's not as terrible as it may kind of initially look. But that's just me. But I don't know. I kind of like the Space Raiders in space. I just need an excuse to do that again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I quite like it. It's of course only $8. I believe it's $8.99. Yes, $8.99 US, 10% off right now.
We're seeing a variety of times on the reviews. So yeah, that's It's interesting. Simplicity with depth, challenging maps, unique weapons, super time stop powers, tough decisions, danger everywhere, and a leaderboard.
I gotta have that leaderboard. Our next title is from Thursday. We're now to Thursday, December 10th. Orwell's Animal Farm.
Orwell's Animal Farm, nope, didn't work, is a text-based choose-your-own-adventure game where all animals are equal. Some animals are more equal than others. Immerse yourself in George Orwell's story of absolute power and corruption and follow the ups and downs of animalism.
So yeah, this is actually sort of a choose your own storybook kind of gameplay. It's very directly based on Orwell's Animal Farm, directly quoting it for much of its dialogue. Yeah, so there's like your goal is to basically survive for 7 years after you kick out the humans. So it's just a really interesting idea.
Oh, it's interesting. So I was wondering like what exactly how it was going to play, like where it was just going to be like a visual novel of just Animal Farm. Really, I didn't know what was going to be the goal sort of thing. But yeah, I like this choose your own adventure aspect of it. So. It's you can assign their tasks, manage their resources, choose their laws, and direct their propaganda. Determine which of the animals will make sacrifices and which will be more equal than others. Interesting. So it's 10% off at £7.19.
So yeah, so it's to sort of get to balance like power, corruption, pragmatism, and idealism. There's all that, and you sort of see.
We've not seen a lot of hours on that people have played. It's like around 2-ish hours or something. So
where should we be?
There's like 88% positive 18 users so far.
I think also the time you get out of it is going to depend on how many playthroughs you do. If you get a playthrough on the first time that was pretty satisfactory, I think it's only about an hour and a half. So, but if you want to try it again, so it is. It is $8.99 US. Yep. All right, and is developed by Nariel, which is a small studio based out of London. Our next title is Morkredd.
Morkredd is a tense physics-based co-op puzzle game for 1 to 2 players, combining skill-based puzzle solving, a challenging balance of light and shadow, and a dark world full of secrets to unlock.
Yeah, this is developed by Hyper Games, which is a small studio based out of Oslo in Norway.
It looks really, really interesting. I like the designs and just the how it gives like a whole atmosphere to the world. It's just really good, really well done.
Really bizarre too, because initially you're in like what seems to be a factory or something, and then you're inside the body of some creature. So it's like, ugh, wow, really, it really changes the environment quite a bit as you go through it.
Yeah, and the whole.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, the whole thing of trying to keep the orb alive, and that is your only light source as you go through. I kind of like this.
It's £15.49, which is kind of a bit on the pricier side. I feel it does say it's best played as couch co-op experience as well.
This game, these developers also made the game Egg, the platform puker. We talked about this game.
Yes, we did. That was had such interesting artwork. I'm surprised they've gone from that very, very gross and very, very bright, colourful artwork to this. Interesting.
They're definitely kind of flexing their versatility with that.
So it's only 2 to 3 hours. So that's it's a lot. That's you're paying quite a lot for 2 to 3 hours, I feel.
Yeah, for a $20 game. Ugh, that's a pretty steep ask.
Yeah.
All right. Our next title and last one for Thursday is Shady Part of Me.
Overcome emotional struggles across a touching narrative filled with twists and surprises. Embark on a dreamlike journey with breathtaking artistic direction and the enthralling voice of Hannah Murray from Game of Thrones.
A journey
and Skins.
She did embark.
So this game was actually debuted at the Game Awards, which was earlier this week. It was on the 10th. Yes, it was on the 10th. So it was debuted there. It's only gotten 24 reviews so far, but that's doubled since 2 days ago when I first looked at it. And it looks like a nice little puzzler, and it's of course from it's published by our good old friends at Focus Home Interactive, pretty well known in the indie space. And the developer is a French studio called 12
If you give up, forever you will stay.
This is very delightful.
I'm trapped. I have no choice.
Seeing this like maybe around about 7-ish hours, maybe a bit more.
With me, there is
because a lot of people who put a review up, they haven't. Some of them said they haven't quite finished it yet or something. So
we break free from this.
It looks very nice. I love the art style. And of course, you're playing as the physical character, but also like watching how you interact with the shadow as well.
Mm-hmm. It's very whimsical. I quite like the artwork. The backgrounds are 3D, but they have a look as if they're 2D, which is really hard to do. So I'm quite impressed with that. Yeah, it just looks beautiful. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I think this is more reasonably priced than the last game that we talked about. This is 10% off right now, and it's £11.69. So considering this is around about maybe a little more than 7 hours, that's a good.
It's fair, yeah.
Yep. All right, on to our last day. Can you believe it? We're on the last day. On Friday, December 11th, the first game was Alba, a wildlife adventure.
This looks so cute. Sorry, I'll go back to being professional. Even the smallest person can make a big difference. Join Alba as she sets out to save her beautiful island and its wildlife and possibly start a revolution. This is so adorable.
So I believe this is set on one of Spain's like Balearic Islands, or one of their islands that's in the Mediterranean is the setting, and so it's a lot of Mediterranean wildlife that you're going around and taking pictures of. As a bird watcher, this was pretty intriguing to me. I was like, oh, this looks fun.
So adorable. And yeah, the environments are so nice, and I like the character designs, and yeah, just everything's just so cute.
They are doing kind of the right balance of, so they don't really have, like, they use a lot of matte colors. They don't use so much like texturizing stuff. So it's just like, a splash of color, but it's well shaded. They do a lot of shadows casting properly, and it ultimately works pretty well. So it doesn't look sparse. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, because some of these games that we look at there, you're right. Like the environments, they look really sparse, whereas this is super varied. It's really interesting to just walk through, and yeah, I really like it. I always like it so much.
Yeah, I'm like absolutely in love with this. And like myself, like I tend to watch birds and animals out my back door quite often, so like I'm already extra enthralled by this.
Yeah. It's one of the major things I miss about living in a rural area, is being able to bird watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, this looks nice.
This is about 3 to 4 hours. It's like 3 hours. You complete everything 3 hours, but there's optional tasks. So, like for the achievements, so it's around 4 hours then.
Yep.
And it's 20% off right now at £10.79. So yeah, that's cool.
$13.59 with 20% off. So a little bit on the pricey side.
Yeah.
But
it's a bit.
It's very, very pretty.
It really is.
Yeah.
Oh, but these are the guys that made Assemble with Care.
Yes, Us Two. Yeah, Us Two games. So I think with that, like knowing that they also made Assemble with Care, which was a very good game, it makes it a lot easier to step into this one.
Because I really put this on my wish list, and I'm like, and now it's like, oh wow, I might get this sooner than I was planning to. So yeah, because I loved Assemble with Care, and the whole how relaxing that game was, and the voice acting, the music, just everything was put together.
I think this is going to be more of that vibe. So
yeah. Completely.
So, yep. Us two games definitely has a good reputation with us. So
they brought out Assemble with Care in March, and they had a DLC a little later on in the year, and now they brought out this one in December. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Very busy team. All right, our second title from Friday is Find Me.
Is it the horror game one or the other?
It's the gray one.
Oh, okay. A lost shadow seeks to be reunited with her human girl while searching for memories and avoiding the dangerous city lights. Find Me is a 2D puzzle platformer set in a beautiful, surreal cityscape.
So, story time on this one. So this game was developed by a team called Team Invenio. It is a team of 4 high school girls that made a game at a summer camp called Girls Make Games. So this is, with, of course, the guidance of teachers and such, this is fully made by 4 high school girls.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You should have told us this after we given our opinion.
I don't know. I didn't want to entrap you.
That would have been awesome.
You have now. Well, this is the thing though, that I can't, it's like if I did have any criticisms of it, which would be, I think, more fair. I think you should always give your honest opinion and not be swayed by, oh, that's a nice story.
Well, you'd be able to see all of that if you just scrolled a little bit down too and read the description. So I was like, want to surprise them. So.
I would have rather seen Rhodey have to bite a lip all of a sudden or back her way out of a comment. That would have made my day.
So of course I do have some criticisms. I think the motion is a little jittery, it's not fully smooth, the motions, etc. But considering this looks legitimately better than some of the games we have had on the list today.
Oh
yeah. No, definitely.
So I was just really impressed to see this, and it was just so cool because I'm like, wow, I'm thinking of so many developers I know who, if they were like, wow, if I could be able to do this when I was in high school, where would my career be now?
Yeah. You need that sort of encouragement, and also to have that kind of skill set. I think it's just so useful, and you might find you enjoy it and go on to develop other things.
Yeah, whether these girls end up becoming going into professional development or not, they have a really valuable set of skills for the 21st century. So that's an awesome thing. So
yeah, the few little critiques I have, especially on the platforming, is there's sometimes you can't tell what you can or cannot jump on. Mm-hmm. Where I was like, they're gonna jump on top of that planet. Nope, they fell through to the middle of the planet where the ring was, and it was like, well, you jumped off of that. So that's kind of my big nitpick, and it's not even that bad.
my only nitpick would be some of the background arts. I think like I'm looking at that. I think is it I don't know if the buildings or it's servers or something, the one where there's all those different coloured boxes and everything. I think it's servers.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like very, it's not that great. It doesn't look that great, I feel. Yeah. But everything else, it looks pretty solid. And it's 25% off right now. It's only $2.99.
And the story starts with the girl getting hit by a car. That's how her shadow gets separated. Yeah, very fascinating, really creative. And yeah, I think there's like a lot of good hope for where these girls are gonna go. So that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
I do wish that they would say how long it is though. That would be my only.
It is a 374, but yeah, it doesn't have much tips on like how many levels there are. You can kind of go through the screenshots and look at how many zones there are, but yeah. So yeah, and Team of Enio, the 4 devs are Katie, Maeve, Audrey, and Avalon. They're from San Francisco.
Yeah.
All right. Our next title is The Wind and the Wilting Blossom.
Navigate the war-torn lands of an alternate history. High in Japan, battling yokai hordes and challenging turn-based combat. And I'm sorry if I butchered those names. Encounter hundreds of story events, level up your party, and unlock new allies and weapons. Die, learn from your mistakes, and try again.
Wow. I now have a new question to ask myself every time I look at a game. Could a high schooler make this? Yeah. But yeah.
That's a really good question, yeah.
That's a really good question. Now I'm going to have that in the back of my head every time I see a game. It's like, Anyhow. So this looks fantastic. I like the sort of Heian painting, like all the characters are based off of Heian paintings, which is it really makes for a neat aesthetic because there was a lot of yokai art back then, and just it all it's so cool.
Yeah, I like it. I love the look of it. I'm curious to if this plays well. I like the map designs as well. They're really great.
Yeah, it seems to largely be, sort of just about the chess and strategy games. So they really focused on making a functional UI and a functional playing board, and they didn't do too much focus on things like animation or and they kept the artwork to a minimum, which to a degree they're trying to make it match the Heian characters. They don't want to make the artwork too realistic because then they're going to look out of place. So it's not bad. It looks like, let me see. I saw that it was on Shikoku, and it looks like you also go to Kyushu. It looks like you might be able to play through much of Japan, so there might be a lot of levels.
This is standing at 100% positive right now.
50 reviews.
By 50 users.
Wow.
Very positive, yeah.
That is impressive.
Yeah, and this is £15.49, so it is on that pricier side. But yeah, people seem to be really enjoying it.
Yep, and it is $19.99. This is developed by the studio Pickle Feet Games, which is just a fantastic studio name, based out of my old hometown of Seattle, Washington. So yeah, the Wind and Wilting Blossom. Our next title, second to last title, is Drafting Tales.
Become a well-known and successful author in this 2D isometric simulation game.
So this is like Game Dev Tycoon, but with, you're trying to be an author instead.
Yeah.
So, which is, I really like Game Dev Tycoon, so I'm interested in this. But yeah, it's the look is a bit more softer than Game Dev Tycoon. I quite like the design of it.
The pastels. I like the use of pastels and the soft lines.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I think for simulator games, it's really important because it's a game that there's not a lot of action happening. It's really important that you have a very easy on the eyes look and very readable. And I think they did that here.
Yeah.
The only issue that I'm questioning is if, as you go on, how the difficulty ramps up on you being successful. Yeah. Because if it's like, if it's something that eventually becomes impossible to get right or something like that, it just becomes really frustrating. But yeah, I'm interested. This is mostly positive right now at 77% with 54 users, and it's 15% off at £8.74.
I'm curious about the mechanics because when it's a sort of creative art, there's different ways to approach it. I have this fantastic book for writers called Story Engineering, where it basically approaches story writing from an engineering perspective almost. It's been very helpful, but I'm kind of curious if it implements sort of that, that engineering process, because it seems that this could be like both novels, but also like self-help books and instructional books that you're making.
Well, I think it's like just like Game Dev Tycoon. It's like you're writing a book and you're just like, you pick your own genre by each book that you're going with, and like seeing how well that genre does basically, and collecting the money. So yeah, I think you can pick multiple genres of books.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit more like extra little mini game stuff in between as well. Like there's one of the ones where it shows like 31,550 words with like red and green bar in the middle with slider that you're trying to get stuff in between. So I don't know if there's a little bit of an action mini game at times, but otherwise everything else I'm seeing 100% Game Dev Tycoon.
Yeah.
Even some of like the late reports, it's like, can't go wrong with sci-fi, thriller, and aliens. Like, oh yeah, you're putting your genres and stuff together much like you do in Game Dev Tycoon. And interesting fact, the folks who developed this are middle school.
No, you're lying. Okay. Very funny.
Up a little bit. I'm sorry.
Istotex is a studio that's based in England, and they are not middle schoolers now. Our final title for this week is Game of Life 2.
I had to make you look though. That was that at least made my day.
Yeah.
Well, for 60 years, the Game of Life game has shown us how to win it growing up. Now, Marmalade Game Studio and Hasbro are proud to announce the Game of Life 2 digital board game. The contemporary sequel brings you more choices and more freedom. Will you be a video blogger or an...
Oh, I hate it when they do that and the blurb.
Yep. So... I tend to label myself as the board game expert of our group.
Yeah.
And I have some serious beefs with one big thing of this game is normally it's a game that's $9.99 and their season pass is $24.99.
Yeah.
I know I should be talking gameplay and all that. And Marmalade, they also did Clue, or for our European and other friends across the world, Cluedo. And they did the same thing of they charge like it was like $10-15 for the base, and then the DLC was the season pass DLC was twice, if not 3 times more than the base price. It's like, just make it free to play to start, then do the extra stuff. Like, why charge for a base and then do that? It bothers me so much.
Yeah, you can get the complete collection right now, and it's like 17% off, but it's £28.88. It's quite a lot, because you are wondering, it's like, if I just get the base, is it going to be enough? Are there enough features in there? And
Yeah. And the one thing I learned from their clue is they had like all the different maps, almost like slightly different game types sort of things that you could unlock with the season pass stuff instead of just purely the base game. And it's like you should have gone to a free to play model with, or like a freemium game.
Yeah.
Instead of doing charge me $10 just for the base game. Like I could go buy the board game for about $8 right now. But I never thought the world needed a second Game of Life, but I do like the fact that they're trying to like modernize it, and it looks like they added a few other things, so it's not just the wealth at the end. Like there's like happiness meters and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, I'm kind of on board with the attempt to try to modernize Game of Life in a way. But still keep it, because of course they would have to get Hasbro's absolute sign off and approval, so it's got to be very family friendly, all that on top. But I'm curious. Yeah, there's so it's really funny. So there's a way that a friend of mine plays Game of Life where there's an additional modifier. She came up with this when she was just a kid, where there's on the board, there's a non-player character, the Psycho, and you roll for them, and every time the Psycho catches up with you, you lose half your money, unless you have children. Then he just kills one of your children, and you're fine.
Oh my God.
It's just like, you came up with this when you were 12, and it's like, yep, and I have to say, it makes the Game of Life much more interesting when you have this, because you start, and you finish college, and then the Psycho starts from the beginning, and so you're like racing ahead of the Psycho. But what if you start direct, because you don't have to start college, you can go direct career. Yeah, but once basically everyone is past career, then the Psycho starts on the board. Right. So, and you have to stay ahead of the Psycho. I like how I'm nitpicking a 12-year-old home rule. Hey, I have to say, that really makes the Game of Life so much better. That is such a good house rule. It's a great house rule. What is up with these young game people today? My God. It's a really fun way to play it. I am concerned for the mental where this person's an adult now, but I was just like, why were you coming up with these strange things for basically everything when you were 12? Like, are they an adult in jail? But I thought it was like really funny. It was just like, you had a dark sense of humor when you were 12. Is their name Dewey? And do you need help? No. Okay.
But yeah, this is 10% off, so it's £8.99. So that's just the base game, though. So. Yep. Yeah, $8.99. Wait, did you say £8.99? Yeah. It's $8.99 US. So yeah, I don't even.
So the Brits are getting screwed. Yeah. Yep. That's not good. That's not good. Adjust your price for currencies, because 8 pesos 99 is nothing in Mexican money. So you gotta adjust it. Anyhow, with that, now we come to the hardest part of the show, where we decide, well, what's the best of the week? Who wants to go first? All right, I'll be the big brave boy today. Okay. Because I mean, it was a long, and I'll do what I typically do is I'll try to go from one from the first half, one from the back half. And I'm gonna give a joint first. One that I have to give so much credit for is Find Me. Even like just hearing that 4 high schoolers made that and how good it looks. Especially when it beats out quite a few other games that we saw on the list. How isn't it going to be my best of the week? But my other one that is kind of I really am. Yeah. I'm a softie. What can I tell you? Hey, it does look like a good game, but yeah, it does. Wow.
something words. My other one that I would tie it with is just because I love Zombies Ate My Neighbors is Headbangers Holiday in Hell. And that was right up my alley. Was it the most impressive thing that we saw? Should Alba be up there higher because of how gorgeous and how happy it made me feel, or Space Raiders in Space? No, Headbangers Holiday in Hell is it's what I added to my wish list because it's something that I would absolutely play. But if we go to the top half, from the Catchup, it had to go to what is it? Picklock.
Picklock?
The Picklock, the stealth, heisty, asymmetric game that they had going on. It was right up my alley. Wavey the Rocket was pretty close to hitting it for me, of maybe jumping my top spot instead, but I could see myself playing the daylights out of Picklock. So yeah, those are going to be my game picks of the week.
All right,
and
good picks.
And I'm not calling it my usual thing due to reasons.
Well, Rhodey, you ready?
Yes, I am. So, fortunately, I felt like there wasn't really any games for me from our May selection. There are certain things I could definitely watch someone else play, be quite happy with that. But there's definitely nothing on there that I would want to pick up myself. So I'll pick two for this week's selection, and I really like Alba.
Mm-hmm.
That is my top pick, and it's even better that it's coming from the same people that made Assemble with Care. I'm very happy with that. So yeah, if it was just a tad bit on the cheaper side, I'd probably snap it up right now, but no. And then, so my second choice, so this was a bit difficult. So it's either going to be Call of the Sea, because you know I love those kind of mystery kind of games, this sort of detective kind of games.
Yeah.
But again, that does need to come down in price a little bit. And Monster Sanctuary as well. Those two are both really, really excellent. Yeah.
Well, I have to agree with you. Monster Sanctuary is by far my choice of the week. It's been on my wish list for months, and I'm so excited that it's finally out. So, yeah, Monster Sanctuary is definitely my pick of the week. From the backlog, I think I might be in a similar boat to you, Rhodey, in that not too many of them really spoke to me, except maybe Spirit of the North. But even then, it's not a genre I'd normally jump into. So probably just Monster Sanctuary is my one pick.
I guess I'll be the champion of the backlog this week. Yeah. You games weren't that bad, unlike what they're telling you.
No, they definitely weren't bad. It's just nothing in my wheelhouse.
Yeah,
so
unfortunately, which is surprising considering how many games there were. There's usually something that we find that interests both of us, but. Yeah, but I would definitely put Call of the Sea on my wish list anyway, and so I will definitely give that a go at some point as soon as there's a price drop.
And Affinity Chris mentioned that he backed Monster Sanctuary in Kickstarter. Yeah, I saw that it was Kickstarter, but by the time I heard about it, it was already over. So I've just been waiting on it. So
you have to tell us how it is.
Yeah. So yeah, that means you've probably got a copy coming. Or you already had a copy. All right. Whew, with that, I guess it's time to wrap things up and just say, what are you guys going to be up to? So, Rhodey, how about you?
Oh my god, I really, really, really hope that I'll stream sometime this week and we'll finish Murder by Numbers. And I really want to finish Reventure. Very last achievements on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find me hopefully this week on twitch.tv/RoadiePie.
And the Radio Tom, you're going to be streaming more this week, right?
That's the plan. There are going to be a couple of days off because I got to get the kitty to the vet and make a run out of town this week. So it's not going to be the full week through. Follow me on Twitter to keep up on when the streams are going to be. But when I do, they'll be 2 to 6 p.m. Couple of days this week. Otherwise, you can find me over on YouTube. We changed the name a little bit to Tom Tries Board Games to hopefully be more searchable. Because even though I had more subs than the only other Tom Tries, you still couldn't find me when you looked me up. So yay, that was fun.
Yeah, search algorithms can be a real pain.
There was only one other channel, but they would pop up, not mine. So we added the board games to the back. Hopefully we're gonna get new content soon. I was supposed to work on it quite a bit more over the weekend, but thanks to shoveling heavy wet snow, I didn't get as much done as I would have liked.
You got your cardio in though, so there's that.
You know, I really did, and my back is kind of bad for it. It was three inches of that heavy wet snow.
Yeah,
so.
that is absolutely the worst kind. So bad. Yeah. I remember those days.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yep. Now that's a little bit of the reason why I moved so far south.
smart boy.
Get away from the snow.
Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, do give us a follow and let us know if you picked up any of the games we've spoken about this week.
Absolutely. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Affinity Chris and the Lurkers who stopped by to say hi. We appreciate you all. And Affinity Chris does have, of course, a game, just to remind you guys, Warhammer Daka Squadron on mobile phones.
Squadron. Go check it out. Throw money at them. I mean, what?
And with that, I won't be streaming this next week because I am just sick. I don't really have that much energy, but we will be back next week with another episode. Cheerio. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.